there was a balloon in the sky.
Yeah, so
Was
I've
it
heard. Yeah.
over Montana? Is that correct? I don't remember where it was actually over. That slipped my mind. I thought it was like over the Midwest, just over like Big Sky country. You know?
Yeah, I think it was Montana. Yeah, and then but I apparently it traveled all the way to this coast of South Carolina, which they apparently like blew it up with a missile or something.
Yeah, of course. Which, the minute I knew that, first off, like I did not fall for the insane conservative like H1N1 or what H159 the COVID variant is in there. Like I was like, shut up. I just said the minute that happened, I'm like, that's not how this is gonna work. Like there's not gonna be a balloon. Like first off, it's Shenyun flyers. That's what's in there. Like they were just going to rain from the sky, kind of before communism. Like it was just going to be like they're aggressively promoting that in the Bay Area. I thought it was a new method. And then also second off, HARP could get that thing out of the way. We understand HARP exists, so anything that's in the sky that's just sitting there like that, it's allowed to be there. That's all I'm saying.
It's like, well, the thing about the balloon, first of all, the thing about that virus thing that's so stupid is that the wind and like the sun kills viruses. I mean, I don't even think you could make it. It's like 60,000 feet in the air. Like the idea that you're going to like drop a bunch of viruses, that it seriously makes no sense. I can't even.
So dumb.
Well, they're gonna drop like random like Chinese like Westworld dummies that are filled with the virus from the balloon to the ground.
Yeah.
Then they will cough around us, therefore making us sick. I mean, look, I haven't peeked behind the curtain. That's just an assumption there. No, it was hilarious. And it was so funny when I found out. I'm like, oh, this is how they psyop every right-wing person, is just China. And
that's what I'm saying. We're in the era of like dumbass lib conspiracies, like COVID shit, and it's good to get a good right winger one every now and then.
Yeah, just like I remember like when it was like the one that used to hop around Facebook was the burqa mandate in Chicago. Chicago was going to mandate burqas on women, and like
Tony Dungy's furiously
yeah, just sharing like like Randy Quaid Twitter, like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, and like just shit like that. They would like they would tag the mayor with like 6 question marks, like and like those were like good. And like, look, man, like I don't want to hate on some of the people that lean right here. A lot of the people I like didn't fall for it. Like it was, we'll talk to Jeremy soon about people that might have fallen for it too hard.
Well, and it's weird. I just got to say, because I found out about the balloon like 48 hours later, and it's so weird coming into something quote unquote late, like 48, like a couple hours later than ever, and everyone's already got all the takes mapped out. It's like, what the like it's so disorienting in this modern world, to be
it's like the Phil Collins late. In the Air Tonight like drum thing kicked in. It's like
exactly.
Tension was building up, and they're like, let me just let this take fly. It's time. And it's like, dude, like I don't know, these things. Like, first off, there was a spy balloon. How do you there's what is this, 1947? This is how you spy on people? We have portable devices called cell phones. We have like microphones that can arrange Amazon orders for us. Like, be like, hey, did you want this? You're like, what the fuck? How'd you hear that? And we have all these things where it's like, all of a sudden just some like, City Walk, South Park characters like, now we're putting this up in the sky. Like, we're going to get the Americans this time. I don't think so. I just, it never made sense to me. And I felt like it was just like Ukraine is what works for the libs. Ukraine, Putin, anything Putin adjacent works for them. For a certain sect of conservatives, it's China. It's always been China. You remember when they always share the videos of like look at all these Chinese kids dribbling basketballs in synchronization and doing math at the same time. Like, our kids don't do this. And it's like, well, okay, I don't want to. Like, it's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And the other thing is that's all just propaganda. I mean, that's not real. Anyone who knows anything about China or has been to China knows that they're not organized at all in the way, like, they're like the most disorganized people you could ever imagine. They just
trust me. Yeah, I work in the road. Trust me. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they're not all doing that shit over there. It's ridiculous. But the thing about the balloon is, or at least maybe there were people that saw this balloon. I mean, I don't really know, like in Montana or wherever. But my first thought whenever I see any of these stories is like, how do you even really know that there was a balloon? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's like there's a picture of a balloon, and then I saw a picture of allegedly some Navy divers like pulling this balloon out of the water or something. I mean, I don't know if anyone ever saw that movie Wag the Dog or whatever with Robert De Niro. And
I did not. I want to though.
It's really, I highly recommend watching it, but it's kind of about this where they fake this war with Albania to cover up a sexual misconduct thing, like in the White House or something. But anyway, it just kind of like raises the issue of, I don't know, I'm not even sure. I mean, maybe there was a balloon, I don't know. But I think there's a certain power, I think, in just how like they can put stuff out like this. And if they make it ridiculous enough, people will respond.
Yeah.
Including me, by the way.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I just, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, hell yeah, let's go. Like as soon as I saw it in the air, I was like, let them rip, guys. Let's just let them rip. Let's lose friendships over this. Let's let's lose our jobs possibly. Let's do all these things over the balloon in the sky. I mean, let's do it. Like let's let it fly. Let's quite literally. Let's just completely overreact to it. And then I'm not letting the fucking communists off the hook on this one. They're like, oh, they shot it down. Oh, it's like, yeah, what the fuck? Why wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know. Like that's what you do. You take it down. Like that shouldn't be there. See you later.
Well, Glenn's biggest problem with all this is actually how the word balloon is pronounced.
Yeah.
That's fucking dude. I was dying for like 10. I'm sorry.
Did you see the Mississippi senator that like took that to the next level?
No, what happened?
He's like a real Mississippi senator. And he was like, he made like a meme of like a balloon. It says like Chinese Baroon, we no spy. and it was like a meme, and he was like a senator, posted it from his account.
Damn.
And then people were like, the dirtbag left people were like on his ass about it. And I'm like, there's no Asian people in Mississippi. Like he's not losing anything from this. Like he's just like, he's fine. Like he's gonna be fine. There's no and if a Chinese guy is in Mississippi, he wanted the balloon out of there too. Like it was it was something like that. But yeah, it was very, very, very very fun day. That was a fun day for me. I was just ready. I wanted to see people straight up divide and be like take sides and like start forming subgroups based on the Baroon, and just really and just really, really, really taking this to the next level, something they'll forget about within a week but still maintain or dissolve the friendships. Like I love that. I love that dynamic. No, it's great. But one of the things we like having you on Fitness for is I think you just understand nuance within like I don't know what I would call you politically, right? Which is good. Like I think that's a good thing, that I would be like, oh, that guy's of this faction. And I think you're pretty equally, especially in the stuff that you post, you pretty equally are like, I mean, you really don't miss, first of all, but like, the you really like are able to be like, okay, like guys, this is lame. Like you don't over red pill, which I like. Like when people over red pill, it's like, all right, you're gonna bounce, you're gonna be a libtard in like 3 years. I can just tell. Like it's not sustainable. You'll overcorrect. That's an anomaly, and like I can tell that you do that. But I guess like how do you get there? I mean, I know you read a lot of philosophy. Does that help?
Yeah, it does, honestly. Yeah. I think the main thing for me is just you have to have something to ground you, like, and for me, I just have like certain, I guess, beliefs, kind of foundational things I believe very strongly that aren't hyper dependent on politics or on, what I mean? Anything like that. And so it just kind of lets me, I don't feel like I need to react. Like, I don't feel like I need to be so reactive to everything all the time. I mean, a little bit is fine. It's good, maybe even, but I think sometimes people, like, they allow the current to kind of wash them along a little too much.
Yeah.
and I could just, and you can predict it. It's like something will happen. I'm like, I know what you're gonna say. Like, so some people, it's like, I know exactly what you're gonna say. I know
Oh
exactly
yeah,
what you're gonna say. I know I
yeah.
know the intensity in which you're gonna say it, and I know the exact time when you're gonna pretend you didn't feel that way when it's proven to be not true. And it's just it kills me sometimes, and that's why like I mean I'm not right all the time. Shit, like I've been wrong about a lot of stuff, but it's like sometimes I also don't like sprint like 100-yard dash stance to like get first to like a take somewhere, like to just like I gotta be first but not right, like and it's like, man, just sit back and let things happen, guys. Like you first off, like the balloon is perfect because none of us were going to take the balloon down. None of us were going to do it. And it was going to hover there for like until somebody else did something. But people felt as though collectively we could like form a coalition to like post the balloon out of here, like just like based Pepe form together into a sentient based Pepe with a gun and shoot the balloon down, just like manifesting it. And it's just like, nah, man, like that's why I loved that. It was such a good like thing to just observe behind a one-way mirror, it was so good.
It really is funny, the effect that just because it's not even like people were really seeing it, just the idea that there was a Chinese balloon that we couldn't get rid of. It clearly drove people insane, the thought of that thing hovering there, doing whatever. Yeah, it is very funny. It is very funny.
Yeah, and I love the idea that would be the default Chinese weaponry too. I would love that for that to be the case. For them.
I love balloons. I mean, I love the whole idea of like military ballooning. I always have, actually. I mean, I was tweeting about this, but like they used to really try to use balloons in combat, and it must have seemed like so cool that you could like fly up into the air, but like it's a balloon, like you can't control it. It's totally impractical. They would like try to fly these like balloons in and like drop bombs or whatever, and then the wind would just like blow them right back to where they came from. I mean, presumably this balloon had some controls, but it's a balloon. I mean, it's I don't know. It's an evocative image. It's an evocative image.
And it just brings back an element of like actual like kind of like not calculated warfare, like where it's like it was kind of just like, man, this is what we're going to try today. Nowadays it's just like this missile is going to hit right here. It's going to just hit in this exact area and kill this many people.
Yeah.
It's just like that's war, and then we're going to disable this, destabilize this government, blah, blah, stuff. Man, the balloon, it was just like, hey man, wherever I'm at, that's where I'm good. That's where the war is going to be, in the balloon, and we were Germans like sending the dachshunds, like the wiener dogs, underground. Like those were always my favorite. They used to like send out like wartime wiener dogs. Like what the how insane do you have to be to like think of that? Like just like these dogs, hell yeah. Like I have one. My dog, he's a pussy. Like it's just just an absolute
You can confirm.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like they're just like, no way would this dog ever be in war. Like and they're just like, let's get 1,000 of them and hopefully form a like they can like get into certain spots, and it's just amazing. It's like it'd be cool to like do a little like reactionary warfare. Would be really cool to do that. If that was what happened with China, then I'd be so down for it to just be like total like Luddite warfare almost.
Yeah, we should do it. We should do it.
I mean, I'm not enlisting or participating. I'm just saying, like, I'd be, I'd like for other people to do that.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna just say like, well, I wanted to, yes. I mean, if there was like a balloon or like wiener dog kind of brigade, I actually might and try to enlist in that. I don't know if they would
just be the
me,
Caesar Milan, of wiener dogs.
I mean, I just like, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't pass up that opportunity if it was.
No, I'm much too old now. I think, anyways. I think I'm just past the cusp. But like that was a sobering thing too, where I was like, the one time I was thinking about war in like when Ukraine was first happening, I was like, oh man, hopefully they don't bring the draft back. I don't want to get drafted. I'm like, I'm in my 30s. What the fuck? They're not gonna pick me.
Yeah, no, we're too old for that. But okay, seriously though, or a serious thing about the balloon, a complaint I wanted to at least get out there was that I have this general feeling like these sort of media operations, let's call it, like maybe there's a balloon, maybe there wasn't a balloon, I have no idea, but the reality is they chose to make the balloon a story for a reason. You know, there's all kinds of, could be balloon tier type provocations from China or God knows who else that they don't report on for various reasons, right? But they reported on this one, and I think that that's one of the things I always think about. It's like, okay, why is this getting a lot of attention in the media? And aside from just whipping up everyone into a frenzy and distracting people and entertaining people, I think another element is it's just so absurd. I mean, it's so absurd, and I feel like there is almost like a strategic initiative to make these kinds of media psychological operations more cartoonish to change people's perception of reality, so they will accept increasingly ridiculous things, which opens the door for all kinds of other types of, you know, just sort of trickery and stuff that they might want to do.
Yeah.
I love that.
I totally agree. Like, it's like almost like a Monty Python type trope where I'm just like, yeah, for sure. The Chinese are coming in balloons. That's how it's happening. Like, just what? And then, you know, maybe there is some sinister war brewing between US and China. I don't completely write that off. I mean, to be honest, they collabed on, you know, one of the biggest bangers of 2020, you know, just objectively together, and released them, you know, from labs and stuff. But like, you know, that I tend to think there's a little more collaboration going on personally, but you know, nonetheless, I typically lean on like the one world government as the objective there, rather than the East destabilizing the West and vice versa. But I wouldn't write it off.
For sure. And it's like something you'll notice, like with this balloon thing, right, was that there was this sense of collective like impotence about our inability to get rid of this balloon.
Yeah.
And like it reminded me of, if anyone saw the Top Gun movie, the new one, okay? Like with Tom Cruise. I actually love that movie.
I didn't see it. I want to though. Mm-hmm.
It's worth seeing. I mean, I love like the real stunts, and I mean Tom Cruise is like a psycho, but he's a very charismatic actor.
Sure.
And so anyway, I really enjoyed the movie, but when I was at the end, I noticed they did this very careful propagandistic kind of reversal where it ended up, they presented it like this random kind of like, I don't know, Asiatic terroristic country that they were having to deal with in this film. They had these like super advanced planes and weapons or whatever, and it's like Tom Cruise is like the American going up against them in some like ancient, underfunded, like some old aircraft that's like, you know, weak and whatever. And we kind of turned our Air Force in the film, it's like presented as like an underdog, you know? and it's like, which is ridiculous. I mean, to say that the U.S. Air Force, I mean, it's so much more powerful than anyone, right?
Yeah, minus 1,200 against any opponent. I'd set the odds at. Yeah,
absolutely. And so I feel like that's a common narrative element I see kind of emerging, where it's like, oh, China put this balloon and we can't do anything about it. You know, right? It's like same kind of idea in that film, where it's like America seems like we present ourselves as being almost like weak. You know what I mean? Despite the fact that we're still incredibly powerful. You know?
Yeah, it's like one of those like, you know, disaster movies where like they're in the control room with like every big military bigwig ever in the room, and they're just like, okay, bring out the balloon protocol. And it's like, but we didn't do the balloon protocol. You defunded that. You didn't think there'd ever be a balloon, you know? And then this guy's just rustling through like just papers upon papers, like even in 2023, you know, it's like, I love one of my favorites, because it is good. It's still great, even if it's like not that big of a deal to me. I love just the classic like Daily Wire, like Biden can't take a balloon out of the sky. You know, like Matt Walsh is like, what gender is the balloon? You know, and it's like,
gotta bring in the trans.
No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. It's open season. That's why I love it. It was totally like Lord of the Flies open season. Like everybody just be like, just play your hits, play your greatest hit for the balloon. Like I love it.
Barun.
Yeah, Barun. Yeah, exactly.